Hello guys, so welcome back, and we are. This is going to be a little CSS mini series of CSS. So actually, I never wrote CSS ever whenever I worked on project, but from last 2 or 3 weeks, I mean, I guess a month from I started writing my own CSS, and I observed that whatever this dilemma is around CSS, that CSS is really hard. You cannot write CSS. You need bigger frameworks to work on your project when you need styling. So yeah, that is true. But that is true when your project is really big, like it is scaling around thousands of people. But at some point at some point, using framework is not okay. Let me tell you why. Because frameworks just give you a box of things, that box of utility classes. You cannot move out of it. So you cannot, there is not much flexibility there. So when you write your own CSS, you can make your portfolio, you can make your web app stand out. But when you're using Bootstrap or maybe Tailwind CSS or Materialize, or maybe any framework oriented, like for React, there are Material UI, then Chakra UI, Bulma CSS. So yeah, they are good, but your website would end up looking like others. So and even if we leave it, if you are a developer, you should at least know basics of CSS. You should you should have you should you should have practice of writing CSS, because it's really important to understand your design. Even though when you work in any company, so there are you don't need to write CSS. Like, there are already designers who design stuff, who design your website. You just job is to code your front end or whatever you're coding, using that CSS, so using that design. So you don't need to actually understand CSS. Actually, you need to understand CSS, but you don't need to be a really ninja in it. So one thing I realized, it writing CSS is not so any is not scary. It's just a dilemma. The more you it The thing is, we don't practice. So when we don't practice, we run away from it, and we are running away from it. That's why it looks us hard. So that's why I've been writing a lot of CSS from last 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, just basic websites, like web apps, or 1 or 2 page web apps. So I have got the idea how to uh, make your web pages look responsive on different devices. And earlier I used to think that this is so huge job, I can't do it. I used to imagine how is this person, he would do it, he did it. How did he do it? I mean, it's like magic, but it's not magic. It's just a couple of tricks that you need to know, just a little bit of practice, and you'd be good to go. And you would be writing a responsive web page on your own. So it's not a big deal. So in this mini series, I guess it's gonna be three or four video series. In first one, we are going to look at basics of CSS, how to get started with CSS. In second, we would be learning about grids, and in third video, we would be learning about flex boxes. And fourth is not yet planned, but if I get time, and if things go right, I can try. I can try making a video where we would make our own portfolio. We would design our own portfolio using HTML and CSS. So let's get started. So I'm using VS Code. You can use whatever you want. I'm using this extension known as Live Server. This is really cool extension. It spins up a local server. It spins up a local server for you. So here it is. Just type the live server. It would pop up, and this spins up a local server, and you don't need to again repeatedly refresh your browser, so to see the changes. I got a little setup here. I set it up. an index file, and HTML CSS, style.css, and index.html. And let's start. Open with live server. Okay, now I'm gonna be using emit abbreviations. They are really useful to avoid. They are really useful to avoid writing manually, writing hard coding or stuff. The boring part of stuff. So that's why if you need a HTML doc, you just write this, and here is your this is called as emit abbreviation. It comes installed by default, but if it's not there, then go in settings and enable it. So yeah, okay. Now for and link our CSS to it. CSS. This is also emit abbreviation. I guess it's now linked. Let's check it. Right. This is our okay. So CSS. Okay. Now this is our CSS file style sheet. Now there are three types of style sheets: the inline style sheet, and then there are three types of style sheet that the one is inline, the one is external, and the one is internal. So look at all of them. So section. So I'm going to be using semantic HTML. Semantic HTML and semantic HTML is just that the the tags themselves are self-explanatory. So there are advantages of using semantic HTML. You can just search it up on MDN Docs, Mozilla Firefox Document Network. You would find there they are really useful when you are writing code and your code looks really neat. Instead, so that's why I'm using this semantic HTML, and basically there is no difference between HTML. Semantic HTML is just how semantic HTML portrays your code to reader. That's it. So I'm gonna give it a class hero. Again, I'm using emit abbreviation. Section is for tag, then dot stands for class extension. Dot represents the class. So if I write dog and then I write hero section section, it would give me a section with class hero section. Now let's look first what's inline HTML, inline CSS. So when you write this style attribute, and now I'm gonna write background color, let's say aqua, nothing. Let's write a continuity. This is a section, right? um is it working? Yeah, is it working? So look how, so this is known as inline CSS. You are writing your style sheet, your styles in with element HTML element itself. Now if inside head tag, if you use style tag and take it out from here, and we want to style our section HTML element, right? So I'm gonna write section. We would look for how selectors work. First let's see this. We pulled out we pulled this property out from here. So this the one we saw just, it was inline CSS, and now this is internal CSS. Look, no difference. And now if I pull this out of here and write here, if I pull that out of there and write here, wait, we need this background color on our section element. Look, no difference. So the inline CSS, when we write the CSS properties inside the HTML element, internal CSS when we write inside style tag, and external CSS when we write css in when we write css in different file, and we are linking that file to our current document. So this is how these are the three types of css. Now selectors. Okay, so what are selectors? So to apply css on any element, to apply css on any element, you need reference to that element, reference to that element. So there is this DOM is known as document object model. So everything inside your HTML page is stored in is the information of this HTML page is stored in a form of tree. So first the HTML comes, then HTML, after that head comes, then body comes, and inside body there are 4 or 5 divs. So this is known as DOM, document object model. Look it up, look up for DOM on MD and docs. There are plenty of resources there, and the very good explanation of it. So look at there what is DOM. So we need to reference that element from DOM. So I need section tag, I need sections tag, I need all the section tag having background aqua. So I'm gonna, if I need all of the section tag to have background aqua, I would directly select section tag. But if I just need hero section class, all those elements who are going to have hero section tag, hero section class, if I need to apply background to them, then for classes, let's delete all of it. For classes, the dot is representation of classes. So dot hero section, that means any element having class hero section is referenced here. Now what we do, I'm gonna write background color, and let's take anti white. See, it changed, right? So this is how we use classes to reference HTML elements. Now if there another way was using, so let me write one more section here. Section, this is a section, and just change the text here. Again, this is also a section. Okay, so if we you need to you want to, if you want to apply style directly on any element, HTML element, then directly write that HTML element and give this background color of aqua. If you need to apply and reference HTML element from using CSS and then apply CSS properties, then you can do this way. And the third way to do it, is hero section. Okay, so again I'm using Emmet abbreviation. So we got a section with ID hero section. This is also a section. This is also a section. Okay, now why is it not working? Okay, I didn't save it. Okay, so look how is it. So the first one is just a section, the second one has a class hero section. So hero section, for hero section, with the element with class hero section, we are applying antique white. The tags which are section, we are applying aqua, background color aqua. But now I need to change background of this, but this doesn't have class. And first section we have already defined, we already defined background color aqua. So if this section has ID, then I can also reference it using hash. So for classes we use dot, for IDs we use hash. So hero sorry section. Now I'm gonna give it a background color of, let's say, Bollywood. Look, so there are three types of so these are the selectors. You can either select your element directly through element name, maybe it's section, paragraph, header, h1, button, input, like that. Or you can give them classes like we gave here, class hero section. Or you can give them IDs like we gave him here. So this is how we select our HTML elements from DOM and then apply them CSS properties. Now basic background properties. Okay, so now this is not as property, and it is value of its property. This is CSS property and this is value of its property. Now let's we are okay. So uh, you see how this is really squashed with each other. There is no room upside down. So if we apply starting, there are so many CSS property you should look at, and every HTML element has different properties. So on some border works, on some it doesn't, on some background works, on some it doesn't. So background color changes the background of the element. If I need color I write, let's say blue. uh, no, it's already black. Okay, so blue. So this is used to change the text color on any HTML element. So look how this changed to actually I wrote this I wrote this inside section. So all three of these are section though. So every one of them changed the text color to blue. Let's pull it out of here and put it on second one. Okay, so look, they are black and this turned blue. So they are black and the second one turned blue. So this is how we change color of they change color of text over HTML elements. And the other other properties are like border. Every property has its own syntax. So one pixel solid, one pixel says I need a border of 1 pixel that should be solid, and then its color, so let's make it green. So we are just putting this property on hero section. That means the element that has class of hero section, so we are referencing the second one. So okay, I forgot to save it. Look, you can see this, border. Let me more make it more broad. 3, yeah, it's visible now, you can see. So then other properties are padding padding, one rem. So look, from left, top, right, bottom, the padding is going everywhere. If you want top and bottom different pad, if you wanna have your section top and bottom different padding, and left and right different padding, then you can do this way. 20 rem, no, 21, 20 is much. 2 rem. Look for the space above this text and below this text, and space left, the space left to this text and right to this text. So so this is for top and bottom, and this is for left and right. Same for margin 1 rem, 2 rem. So look at this. When you wrote padding, the space was made between this border and the text inside the element. But when you wrote margin, it made a space between the border and the outer division, and same as the above side. So there is this box model. So this is very useful. Let me show you using paint. So this is very important stuff to know. So so this is your element. So you call, we can call it your element. Okay, this is your element. Now if I write, suppose if I this is if I write some content inside it, so this becomes the content. Okay, so if we consider this, I'm gonna write here, this is a section, and we can just add here section element. Okay, section element. Mm, Now wait a second. Okay, sorry. So this is our, the upper boundary is section element, and this inside it is a, this inside it is a section, right? And the upper, the outer rectangle is your element. So the space, so this space that is here, the space that is here, it is known as padding. So this space, this is padding area. Now this is your element, this is your section. So the where your text sits, this is padding area, and the outer rectangle, it is your border. And the area between the text and border is known as padding. And the area between, so consider there is one more section here. So consider there is one more section here. This is div. Let's call it div element. Now this is just above your section. The division is just above a section. So let's pay attention here. The difference between your inner text and your border is known as padding, and difference between your border and your division element, any element, be it division, be it header, be it p, anything. So the space between, the space between section element and any HTML element above it is known for is known for margin. So let me give it. No. So let's write this here. This is margin. This space is margin. So it's not like I wrote margin here and padding here, so so padding and margin would be only there. No, the padding is here also, padding is here also, padding is here also, margin is here also, margin is here. So basically this goes like this: left margin, top margin, right margin, bottom margin, left padding, top padding, right padding, bottom padding. So this whole phenomena is known as box model. Box model. This is helpful when you start writing CSS and you know create space, how to create white space. White spaces are really important for any design, any web page. They make they break or make your design. They either if you lack white space, your web page would look horrible. So when you know this box model, you can smartly create white spaces between your element so that your web page looks good. So this was box model. You can look it up on MTN docs. There is great explanation there. Now the second is padding, margin, background color. Okay, so we have got three more: child selector, events, and media queries. So okay, so let's get rid of it, rid out of it, and create a section with class main. Okay, and now I'm gonna create uh, 5 div elements, right? So again, I'm using emit abbreviation, right? Now let's call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now here if you want to select if you want to select this if you want to select this first division, how would you do it? Because doesn't this doesn't have id, this doesn't have class, so you would say I can directly access this using div. But if you write div selector to select select this element, all of these divs would be selected because they all are div, so they all are gonna be selected. They would come together when you write css property. So to access this first, or to access this second division, or to access this third division, there is something known as childs. So child element child 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 HTML elements. So now if I write main, so we are referencing this section from the DOM. We are referencing this section, section element from the DOM. Now this this greater than operator is used for inside. We want to take something inside from main. So we main first referencing this section, then inside main this asterisk is known as universal selector. It selects everything from first child. So if I wanna get this division that has that is first division in a section, then I would be referencing that like this: the main class, then inside main class universal selector colon first child. If I let's do this way. So okay, let me get rid out of all of them, right? And let me give a little bit of padding so that it looks nice, a little nice padding of 1 rem, top, bottom, left, right, everywhere. Looks nice. Okay, and now give it a margin so that it comes to. So look, whenever you want to center anything, you want to center it. There are other properties like aligning, etc. But the quickest way to do is the quickest way to do is put margin for left and right auto. So whatever the width of HTML element becomes, it it automatically adjusted itself to middle of the web page, depending on the size of the element. So we are giving margin top and bottom, one and left and right auto. So now they all would become center. No. Okay, so what's wrong? Okay, so let me do this. What? Why is it not working? Okay, so before to do this, we need to give max width property of it. So let's keep it 100%. No. What am I doing wrong? Hmm. Is it not saved? Yes. Let's put it 50%. Yes, it has started working. So let's do it. So in order to center it, you need to give you need to give you need to give max width to all of them, so that they can center. Because if 100%, they would take the whole they because division, it's not a block element, it's inline element, so it would take whole width of your display. So that's why it wasn't working. Now I want to access this first division and change its background to, let's say, maybe aqua. So if I go here and put, let's change it to gray. Look, just the first division changed to gray, not all of them, just the first division changed to gray. Now if you want to access this last element and change its background to aqua, how would you do it? You would write main, universal selector to select everything, and last child, you would write last child. Background color, let's change it to hot pink. Look, the last division changed to pink. Now you would think, how would I change second, third, and fourth fourth division color of the background color of second, third, and fourth division? How would I change it? So there is nothing known as first. If you would think maybe second child or third child or fourth child, no, because consider when you got 100 elements inside a page, you would would you keep referencing them using first child, 50th child, 51st child, 52nd child? No, not like this. So there is this built-in function inside CSS known as, let me spell main correct, sorry, nth child, nth child. So when you did universal, so this selected all of it. When you wrote first child, it selected this was the first element that came after second section finish. So this was the first, and before the section finished, the closing tag, this was the last element that was encountered. So we both took care of them using these first child and last child. Now if you want second, third, or fourth child, you can write here maybe third child, change background color of it to what, maybe indigo. Look, third child, this change its background color to indigo. Now you want to change fourth division and change its background to what background color, maybe khaki. Look, so this is how you can access your DOM using child methods. Child, I want a second at division and change this background color to what, lavender. Yeah, so this is how you can access DOM elements using nth child built-in function. So let's again recall what we did here. Main section, the section having class main, then universal selector first child, universal selector last child, and universal selector n child. So this was pretty much this was the basic some of the basic building blocks of CSS that you would need when you start writing your own CSS. These properties that we saw here would be helpful for you. Now events and media queries. So let's look what are events. Okay, so we referenced this first element, right? We referenced this first element, the first division, using this. So now I can also write main. These are the events. First child on click, no, on focus. on focus. Now when there is focus on the first child inside main section, inside section having class main, that means the first division change is background color to log green. No, actually this wouldn't work on it because we are not focusing it. So let's get rid out of it and write a input type text name. Let's call it age and a placeholder and your age. Okay. Now we have got this. Let's beautify this a little bit. Input padding 1 rem and margin 1 rem. Looks a little bit good now. Now if there is focus on this element, if there is focus on this element, give it a border of maybe 5 pixel solid and of red blue. So these are the events. There are so many events. You can look it up. You could look it up for them on MD and docs. There are plenty of resources there and nicely explains. And one more thing I wanted to tell, that yeah, these W3 schools and other things, that they are good. They are good to learn CSS. But MD and docs, CSS tricks, these are two websites where you can really make yourself ninja learning CSS, because they really they explain it really well and in depth. So always you want to learn about CSS, or you are stuck somewhere, you wanna learn about it, go on MTN docs and go on CSS tricks. They explain it really well. You would understand uh, much better. So whenever we focus on it, a event is happening. On focus input is, there is focus event on input when we click on it. So after that, once the input is in focus, I know it looks ugly, but I want to show you how you can trap this. You can trap these events and write CSS based on those events. So when you tapped on it, I wrote border, make it 5 pixel solid and solid. You can also write dashed here, anything. There are so many options. Dashed and make it red. So there are also other events like selection, then spelling error. So these are the events that you can look up for, and base focus visible, focus within, a lot of them, and you can check it out about it on MD and also CSS tricks, as I told you. So I just wanted to show you, I wanted to show you that whenever you click, this event happens. So if you want to trap that event and write CSS based on it, so you can write this way. This is the syntax. Now media queries. So we have almost come to the end of first video, and let's get rid out of everything. And there are these media queries. So you write media queries like screen media screen and max width 760 pixel. This is where our mobile phones and this is where our mobile phones and cell phones lie. Now body color, when this page is being opened on mobile phones or display devices that that got 76 pixels of display, then then apply these properties. I'm gonna change background color to gray. Hopefully it works. I didn't make any mistake. Now look, look, this is our full display on on laptop devices or tablets. Once, maybe 760 is too much, maybe give it 600. Okay, now once you come closer to size of mobile devices, look how it is changing its background. Okay, now there is this if you do control shift M, it takes you to mobile view. So look, on mobiles color of the body, on mobiles color of the body is gray, but on laptop devices and other devices the color of the body is white. So this is how this is the simplest this is the simplest explanation of how media queries work. So a lot of people use media queries to make their website responsive. They write different CSS for devices that has bigger resolutions and devices that has smaller resolutions. But you don't need to do it. I just wanted you to show that this way also you can write responsive CSS for your web HTML page. But there are other ways like CSS grids and flexboxes. They are very easier to write and easier to maintain than writing your media queries. So media queries are okay, but when you start writing media queries, your code becomes jumbled up. You are writing a set of rules for your smaller devices and other set of rules for your bigger devices, that desktop and desktop laptops and tablets. So they are really not convenient to work with when the project scales. So that's why I just showed you. But we can also make our web pages responsive using grids and CSS. So see you in next video where we would be learning about grids.